Good evening. No say budget are going still, but I have to talk about this. Me no say let me start over. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the platform. If you're new here, please consider, you know, subscribing. Um, you know, always remember to hit the like button, share the live, and the donation link is always pinned. If you look at Nightbot in the chat, Nightbot is always pinning the location. Pinning not the location, pinning the all the different links that you need to subscribe to my other platforms, and also the donation name like the Cash App, the PayPal, all of that. I don't have super chat. I haven't figured out how to get super chat while living in Jamaica. I still haven't figured that out yet. I think I have an idea, but that would require somebody overseas registering the Google account and while living over there. But and having an address over there and managing the YouTube page pretty much. But hit the like button, just tap the screen twice like this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Fayval Williams, the new Minister of Finance, aka Mrs. Probox, aka them take her for one big papi show. You know recently the budget debate, which it began the other day, Tuesday, right? But Fayval Williams said some things. And in that debate, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say there was a lot that was missing in terms of pertinent issues that is actually affecting us here in Jamaica. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but the night before the budget, we saw a clip on Andre Stevens' show where Fayval was doing her leg workout. Based off what I've seen from Fayval, ladies and gentlemen, I heard from her in that speech and in this interview with Dean Jackson Miller, I have come to the conclusion that, Fayval had sprained a few of her brain cells in that exercise. It's not that she don't have the brain cells, but when you exercise, it brings on stress on the body, and I don't know. It might be a new phenomenon, but I think Fayval Williams lost a brain cell, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a doctor, but ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people have heard this, but trust me, I'm giving my perspective, and I don't want to get fined, because Andre Stevens last night charged me to cover this, and I was gonna cover it anyway. I'm not even gonna lie, because I was flabbergasted at the comments that were made by Fayval Williams. I was literally lost. I was at a loss for words. $2,000 Jamaican. So I'm here to really ask questions, though. I think Fayval needs to be given an opportunity to tell us what she really meant in her comments on the Jackson Miller interview. Was it I just really want to give her the benefit of the doubt, I don't want to think that we as a country have a minister of finance that is this incompetent to the point where she thinks that we can save $2,000 a month, even if it was $2,000 a week, over a 3-year period to pay down on a Pro box. pay down, on a pro box. So I want to ask her, is it 2,000 Jamaican a week or a month, or is it 2,000 US a month or a week? That's what I want to know. I want to know, honestly, Jamaica. All well-thinking Jamaicans, whether or not Fayval Williams meant 2,000 US dollars or 2,000 Jamaican dollars. But let's listen to the clip.
Of her presentation, the increase in the income tax threshold. Take a look.
This government will increase the threshold to $2 million. Remember, we are a responsible government, and so we'll increase the threshold in 3 tranches to 1.8, then 1.9, then 2 million over a 3-year period, starting April 1, 2025.
Now we went to the streets to get some reactions.
I think it could be a bit more. I know that they're spreading it over 3 years. However, I think persons could do with a little bit more relief so that they can attend to their daily needs.
I think it's a marginal increase. I think it's immaterial for some of us, but we're grateful nonetheless because, that little increase, just a little extra lunch money that we're grateful for. I think it's a step in the right direction, to be honest.
Well, it's a good move, but I still would want it to be a little bit more because, individuals in the society, are not making a lot of money. The only persons making a lot of money is the persons at the top. It's a start, a gateway, but I still would like it to be a little bit more. Probably like 3 million or so.
I'd say it's a little extra lunch money, Minister. Much ado about nothing, because the 2 million sound nice, and then you realize it's phased in over 3 years, so it's an extra $100,000 a year on the threshold. So not a fuss about not much.
So, Leon, yes, on a monthly basis, let's call it $2,000 a month. If you faithfully put away that $2,000 because it's something that you were not getting before, at the end of 3 years, you'll have a tidy sum that you could put down in a car, like a pro box that you have to drive to go to work, and you don't have to stand up in the sun or think about rain to get a vehicle to drive. So yeah,
$2,000 a month over 3 years, Minister. You think you can put on a car with that?
Yeah, like a pro box. You get a nice
pro box.
bicycle car.
The point is though, the issue with the
it's one thing when you listen to a clip on a YouTube show, but it's the next thing when you listen to the clip in its entirety. And you realize that the clip that you saw on the YouTube show, shout out to Andrea Stevens, it was in the right context. She literally said that in the context. What I say, baby? She literally said that in the context. You must can't buy me lunch today. I love your glasses, you can't give me. You can't give me your glasses. I taste glasses. Oh, you can't give me that then. I think it's fashion glasses. But, ladies and gentlemen, Fayval Williams literally said, and again I'm asking Fayval, is it in Jamaican? Are you talking about 2,000 US a month? Or are you talking about 2,000 Jamaican dollars? Because listen, me could do some maths, people, because me could have done a better job than this. How could she say that? This is so bad, it's terrible. I mean, what? 2,000 Jamaican dollars times 12 times 3. 72,000 Jamaican dollars. Fayval, how are you going to pay down on a car with 72,000 Jamaican dollars, Fayval? Fayval, I'm going to listen to what you say again, Fayval. No, Fayval.
The issue with the increase in 2023, CAPRI, the Caribbean Policy Research Institute, and that was 2 years ago, had said that...
Go back.
3 years. However, I think persons could do with a little bit more relief so that they can attend to their daily needs.
I think it's a marginal increase. I think it's immaterial for some of us, but we're grateful nonetheless because, that little increase, just a little extra lunch money that we're grateful for. I think it's a step in the right direction, to be honest.
Well, it's a good move, but I still would want it to be a little bit more because, individuals in the society, are not making a lot of money. The only persons making a lot of money is the persons at the top. It's a start, a gateway, but I still would like it to be a little bit more. Probably like 3 million or so.
I'd say it's a little extra lunch money, Minister. Much ado about nothing, because the 2 million sound nice, and then you realize it's phased in.
Let me slow it down, because I have it sped up, Let me slow it down, guys. I could hear Fayval Williams say slow.
For 3 years, so it's an extra $100,000 a year on the threshold. So lot of fuss about not much.
So, Dion, yes, on a monthly basis, let's call it $2,000 a month. If you faithfully put away that $2,000 because it's something that you were not getting before, at the end of 3 years, you'll have a tidy sum that you could put down on a car. And
Yo, she literally said at the end of 3 years, you could have a tidy sum that you could put down on a car. Like a what?
a Pro Box.
Like a Pro Box. So Fayval, Mrs. Fayval Williams, because even you say you're married, you know, I am going to challenge your mental capacity. I really am. I have to. Because of the utterance that came out of your mouth. I think I am fair and well within my right to challenge whether or not all of your faculties up here is actually working. $2,000 a month, over 2,000 Jamaican dollar a month, over 3 years. Is a tidy sum we can pay down for one Pro Box. You know, if I was to do some math, and I'm not exaggerating, Shorty, how much for a flask of rum? 900, no, $1,500, right? For a flask of rum. $1,800 for a flask of rum. Sorry. Yeah, man. $1,800 for a flask of rum. That is $2,000 already, you know, ladies and gentlemen. How much Jamaican drink a flask of rum a day? We say you can't match. Listen to me. Wanna tap the screen like this a minute, please? Tap the screen like this. How much Jamaican drink a flask of rum a day? I'm saying a day. The regular Jamaican drink a flask of rum a day, you know, and let me tell you why I said that. You see them look special there? You see by the time them round up a special, and then another special, and then another special, and how much special coming on one flask? 36 or 4? Eh? How much special coming on one flask? 6 special. So 6 special a day. In some cases are more than $2,000, depending on where you go buy your rum. Right? So Fayval Williams, mighty God of Daniel, Fayval Williams, if you did tell me say $2,000 a day, I give you, you know, say, the maths that kind of maths up. Because $2,000 a day, you know, at 365 days in a year, in a Fayval. May I do the maths again, you know. Right? $2,000 a day times 3,000 times 365 times 365. I would get $730,000. All I rum drink of them. Ding, 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 ding. Start saving $2,000 a day upon the rum. And $730,000 for a year. Anyway, 3-year period. Times that by 3. Fayval. And now we are talk about 2.1 million. You definitely can pay down for one Pro Box, or you can probably buy one depending on the type you want. 2.1 million you can get a Pro Box. You understand? But $2,000 a month, Fayval? Not even a week? Alright. If you did say a week, Fayval, Zane? If you did say a week, Zane? That's $8,000 a month, Zane? 4 weeks in a month, Zane? And that times 12. That's $96,000 Fayval. Times that by 3. 288,000. No, I don't know if you can still pay down on a Pro Box with 288,000. What, baby? I don't know if you can still pay down on a Pro Box with $288,000. Me no know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, just $288,000 money in Jamaica again. You know? Some people spend this in a them house for grocery in a 2 month, you know. 288,000. Some people spend this in a 2 month because food is so expensive. Fayval Williams say, mighty God. Wow. My feel say when she did do the exercise, she did lick her, she did something that happened to her when she did do the push-up exercise there with her foot. Yeah man. May I give Fayval the benefit of the doubt. So Fayval they got through it, you know? I see that.
Inflation will go up. And when you take it on, you have to go pay for your light bill, your water rate, and all of that stuff there. Even if this evening, so give me power.
Hold on there. Oh, that a friend, that a calling. We don't want to see no calling. We want to see full show.
From $1 US and
Make with you. Hear that song, yeah? That song you bad. That song you take away place now. Fayval, I want to budget. Angela, you see that? Oh yeah, I try to find it exact. See that?
Is well over
See
$800,000
that now?
US. In the meantime, Lockerbie and IPL General Manager Major Desmond Brown confirmed that Boys and Girls Championships will be the first meet of the track, not the Velocity Fest meet, which is.
They got that no man.
All of those things that
Pass this up.
want Jamaica.
Yeah. We can.
Do song for bus over here. But you know have to bless up the super chat.
People bless up the cash app now. And bless up the PayPal.
One piece of embarrassment.
Yo.
She needed to have articulated the government's plan of action to address the possible
You want to splash there, mama?
No. New taxes and a reduction in GCT on electricity were some of the key announcements made by Finance Minister Fayval Williams as she opened the budget debate on Tuesday. However, while Jamaicans welcomed the news, financial and economic commentator Ralston Hammond says Mrs. Williams should have taken a different approach, given the current developments in the United States with the new Trump administration.
If I was presenting the budget at this particular point in time, within the current global context, I'd start off by saying, Madam Speaker, Jamaica is a small open economy, $25 billion US operating within the context of a larger international economy.
Me so deal with that, my general. Cause you mega play after me done. Me could talk about Fayval
to 2 million over the next 3 years. But I don't think the average Jamaican worked out what Fayval said.
You see, when them give a big number them in the budget, we don't do the maths and break it down. And this is the breakdown.
That you say, break down the newscast about the income tax we know. Break down and then me want to hear what Fayval said tonight. Hey! All tax, Jamaica. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Let's say John earns $2.1 million for the year. His monthly salary is $175,000 before taxes. Currently, the income tax threshold is about $1.7 million for the year. That works out to be over $141,000 per month. Payroll taxes, income tax, NIS, NHT, and education taxes, as well as a 5% pension contribution, comes up to almost $26,000. Therefore, under the current regime, John's take-home pay is just over $149,000. Now, let's see what John's salary will look like come April when the income tax threshold goes up to $1.8 million for the year. His monthly salary is still $175,000 before taxes. The monthly income tax threshold will move to $150,000. Tax deductions and a 5% pension amount to almost $24,000. His new take-home pay, just over $151,000, almost $2,000 more monthly. And when the income tax threshold moves to $1.9 million per year, or just over $158,000 monthly, John's deductions total almost $22,000. His new net salary, just over $153,000 per month. When the threshold moves to $2 million per year, or over $166,000 per month, John's deductions will be over $21,000, and his salary will be almost $154,000 for the month. A look at John's net monthly salaries will show he will be taking home roughly $2,000 more per month for the first 2 years. In the meantime, tax specialist Alison Peart believes a specific formula should be considered when deciding on any increase in the income tax threshold.
I would have thought, run the numbers with the inflation numbers. We had some really high inflation because of COVID and the fallout. I would have preferred if we had said, okay, if we adjust it for inflation and tie it to inflation, I'd be more comfortable, because each year you would know if my inflation was 5%, then next year is going to go up by that amount. Otherwise, if we have a big inflation, that erosion won't match the increase.
Ms. Peart is also calling for the income.
What I'm understanding from what she's saying is that little $2,000, any inflation at all is going to wipe it out. It's not going to matter. It's not going to be effective. That's what I'm hearing.
Tax threshold and payroll taxes to reflect a calendar year from January to December. Economist Keenan Faulkner also reacted to the increase in the threshold.
The direction the government had been going in for the last couple of years is that if it's going to increase it, it would be incremental. I think given the fiscal space, the government could not have done more within a shorter space of time. So the basis upon which it's happening would be reflective of the current fiscal constraints.
Jamaica, I don't think Jamaicans hear properly. And if you heard, you would have ball out. Jamaica, $2,000, $2,000. And that is what them say is
Really,
good
come here.
news budget.
Awesome.
Whoa, we need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament.
No, man. No,
Yeah,
producer,
Parliament,
we
go
have
ahead,
to do something, man.
Ball out. Whoa, we need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach.
Hold on.
Take out the
She get to
thief.
change and what?
Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief.
That's
them.
the,
Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out from Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
Play back the crazy J song about the budget. The budget. Come on, students, bless up the super chat. Let me deal with Fayval business. Bless up the super chat so I can deal with Fayval.
Give them the budget.
the budget.
Labor right now, the budget.
No budget.
Tell them about the
Budget.
Labor right now, the budget.
Hey,
In the middle of the budget.
Pele, I'm trying to ask you because I know say a grand in here. Man, sir, blind say 2 grand in the shorty, sir.
I use Mama P style in the
Budget.
No boy, no girl in
No boy, no girl in
the budget.
the budget.
Left it, man. Hunger try bill. You whole slap.
Yeah.
Them couldn't find bro God in the budget. When them did a read out the
Budget.
Hey, Jamaica, come here. What I want to come
Bro, God get slim just like Mataran.
Hey!
Man under pressure. Everywhere in front of me, the people in the power. Every day, every minute, every
hour.
Jamaican, who no come listen this. You know you say what I'm done, still our kisses. And this man, brother, when man beat him. When him he in the meeting.
Hey!
$2,000 per month
No, sir.
is equivalent to $13 US and
$13
$30.
USD. Come on, man. Jamaica, I disrespect this now. I disrespect this now. Jamaica, this is another reason for you to not vote for this party. Yeah? There was this brother on the video who said about fiscal constraints. What you say, bro? Why didn't the government consider fiscal constraints when they were giving themselves a 200 to 300% increase for their money? When them forget pay, you know, when them forget them money, you know, there was no fiscal constraints. Them don't want to pay the teacher them the right money, so the teacher them are left. They don't want to pay the nurse them. They don't want to pay the doctor them. So what they demand them protest and people are dead left, right, and center. I'm just saying that, I mean, the police, them even cry out to quietly. Right? I remember the mystery lady come by Andre Stevens' show and said some people wasn't going to get paid a particular month or week. And I see them so it go. You have people on the inside that's coming out and talking up the things them on these platforms. And when you hear them, you have to just listen because you don't know. And then when it come to pass, see like when the prophet then speak, I see them thing. You understand what I say? So, boy, imagine the man them steal Mark Golding idea about the threshold and then them add a little flavor to it, a piece it. But again, me say, where was the fiscal discipline when they were, you know, paying themselves a large sum of money? So at the under this government, you know, say we the poor people are the one them we are suffer. And we the poor people all of the pressure they put. You know see that? You know see that? And then they throw these little bones at us. Fayval Williams and Andrew, and I blame Andrew Honest for this, ladies and gentlemen. Fayval Williams was set up. Anytime I say Fayval Williams, I mean Andrew Honest. And you know what's alarming to me too? And him can't blame Fayval, it's him to be blamed. Because if we watch the budget presentation by Fayval, when she ended her presentation, I who that when I hug her up, I who that when I knock decks and I say, yes, and you know, then when I go out with that crocus bag of things like them, I say, yeah, one Fayval, go in hide Fayval, who remember? I'm going to look for it, you know. I'm going to look for it. Because it's sad, bro.
On that side. And I'm going to continue. There is no point about it. I never said you said that. But I never said you said that. I said members on that side. And I'm going to continue. Right? Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, for the upcoming year, the government plans to borrow $158 billion to help finance the 1.3.
But people, it get spicy over there, man. It get spicy over on the budget speech, man. When we go back and see how I want to Julian and Fayval, so what go on?
To say the government is pretending that they are not. That is a point that, look, I stood up in this house and I told the Parliament and the Jamaican people how much debt is coming due in this coming fiscal year, how much of it we expected to finance, and what was the gap in there that would be provided for with our own resources. So don't stand up. So, Mr. Speaker, for him to be insinuating that, we didn't put forward that information is misleading the House.
Thing I get spicy over there.
Saying the wicked flail where no man pursue it. Mr. Speaker, I made no reference to the Minister of Finance. You are not the only person who speaks on economic issues on that side. And I'm going to continue. There is no point about it. I never said you said that. But I never said you said that.
Let's go over there briefly.
Members on that side. And I'm going to continue.
Now, what do I want reaction on that?
Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, for the upcoming year, the government plans to borrow $158 billion to help finance the 1.
Hey, people. Fayval Williams a lunch meat for Julian Robinson. Julian Robinson sharper than what me they think. Julian Robinson a quote scripture upon Fayval Williams. Mighty God, it's not even, this is embarrassing, man. But I'm gonna go to the previous one that I'm looking for, where she had spoken on Tuesday. That's the one I'm going to. I want to go to the end when she did done talking.
It's the first 20,000 first time, 2016.
All right.
We come to the people of Jamaica with a balanced budget and no.
Shit, my bad, y'all. Look pa Andrew Honest. Look pa Andrew Honest. But just wanted to say Andrew Honest. Andrew Honest, the right side of Fayval Williams, a beat the cocoa drum. Watch out. Who that people? The Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister. You see it? You see it? Remember play. See it? God have mercy. Them turn off the audio. I'm gonna go back.
$526. We come to the people of Jamaica with a balanced budget and no.
You say Andrew and Horace Chang? Watch there. Watch there. So, what I'm not going to do is offer the Jamaica Labour Party any excuses. Not even 1 ounce of excuses. For they in a power for 9 years and I bring forth promises and still barking on the misconception of there's no new taxes, as if Jamaica Labour Party now collect the most tax out. They are collecting record number of taxes. They don't need to create a new form of tax. They are taxing the hell out of us. For the people them where not really follow up a thing and not really understand everything, that is the gist of it. Let me talk like oh we would have talk in the street. They not have no official new tax. Alright, so name a tax. You have a tax name. Property tax. You have a tax name. Income tax. You have a next tax. Just put one name in front of it. Shreps tax. Whatever tax was there before, them keep all of them. But guess what they do now? They have been collecting more tax with those same tax in terms of the amount, in terms of the dollar amount than ever before. Why? Because the prices of things have gone up, ladies and gentlemen. The cost of living has gone up. The inflation has gone up. That's why people is balling out. People literally are ball out because of it. Yeah. I'm telling you.
The message not deliver. The message not deliver. You know what I deliver it?
Help.
We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them all there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out from Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody. Man or woman.
So, hey. Hold on there. What minute there? Oh yeah, right, that's all.
$2,000 equate to $13 US.
Yeah.
Fayval failed to speak about the trade war that is about to unfold in our region.
So, just thinking about what these people are doing, sometimes it's like, I feel like I have a nervous breakdown. How in God's green earth you do not factor in what Trump is doing? How you don't address that? How you don't address the tariffs? How you don't address everything, the sanctions, all the things that he signed off on? And listen, I don't have no problem with Trump. Trump do what he's doing for his people and what them want. Literally, that's what those people want. The majority of America that voted for him, they asked for all of this. Zane? So that's what they want. No. So him can do him, my own man and their own country. What we want is a leader that's going to do what we want for us here in Jamaica. That's what we want. We want a leader that listens, one that has integrity, is going to work and fight for the people of Jamaica. You understand? What the interest of America in this regard when it comes to the Cuban them, it does not, and this is a little bit off topic, but it does not align with our interests. We have an issue with our hospitals. We need to always have a good relationship with the Cubans. Whether to train our people, whatever the case might be. We need them. We absolutely need them. And we've been needing them for a long time, and they have been more than generous in filling that need. So shout out to all the Cubans and my brothers and sisters. Big up.
Fayval failed Jamaica to speak about the budget cut in international grants and aid that is given to this country. Fayval never addressed those things. And here is Fayval looking at you tonight to tell you, say, the $2,000 you can't save it for buy one Pro Box. You think it's like that? Producer,
Pro Box government.
Jamaica, listen what Fayval said about the $2,000.
Yes, on a monthly basis. Let's call it $2,000 a month. If you faithfully put away that $2,000 because it's something that you were not getting before, 3 years, you'll have a tidy sum that you could put down on a car, like a Pro Box that you have to drive to go to work, and you don't have to stand up in the sun or think about rain to get a vehicle to drive. So yeah,
$2,000 a month over 3 years, Minister. You think you can put out on a car with that?
Yeah, like a Pro Box. You
like a 20-year-old Pro Box.
Little car.
Whoa! We need help, Jesus. Jamaican
Father God help us.
shift the parliament, shift the election, shift everything. Remove them out there.
Terrible.
Take out the cockroach.
Terrible.
Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them.
Take them out.
Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them.
Take them
Out of
out.
parliament. Take them out from Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
Jamaica producer, can you play what the Minister of Finance just said for me now?
Yes, on a monthly basis. Let's call it $2,000 a month. If you faithfully put away that $2,000 because it's something that you were not getting before, 3 years, you'll have a tidy sum that you could put down on a car, a little pro box that you have to drive to go to work, and you don't have to stand up in the sun or think about rain to get a vehicle to drive. So yeah,
$2,000 a month over 3 years,
That's
Minister. You think we can?
$74,000.
You think you can put out on a car with that?
yeah, a little pro box. You can get a nice,
20-year-old pro box.
nice little car.
What can go so?
Yo.
Jamaica, ball out, ball out, ball out. Whoa, yo, yo, yo. We need help, Jesus.
Hey.
Jamaica need help.
Hey, me say me dey in tears last night I watched this. And me couldn't even go live because I'm so tired. I wanted to go live early this morning. It was like what, 4 o'clock in the morning? Just to talk about this, but time me take a date now and everybody pretty much I watch the address from Julian. I understand still. People let me watch the replay, yeah, man, but this is sad. This is sad.
Delusional.
Hear this.
Fayval, are you that out of touch with the realities? Fayval, the average pro box is about $1.7 million.
Exactly.
And you're saying that the people
Almost 2 million.
never used to get the 2,000, so they can save that over a 3-year period. It don't even equate to 70. It don't even equate to 100,000, Fayval. How rude and disrespectful you are,
Big old
you,
disrespect.
Fayval.
Rough.
How disrespectful are you, Fayval? No, producer, can you play back? I want every well-thinking Jamaican tonight to listen to the reasoning of the finance minister. Listen, Jamaica, to the reasoning of the finance minister.
This was embarrassing.
Jamaica, listen, Jamaica.
This was
Yes,
embarrassing.
on a monthly basis. Let's call it $2,000 a month. If you faithfully put away that $2,000 because it's something that you were not getting before, 3 years, you'll have a tidy sum that you could put down on a car, a little pro box that you have to drive to go to work, and you don't have to stand up in the sun or think about rain to get a vehicle to drive. So yeah,
$2,000 a month over 3 years,
That's
Minister. You think we can?
$74,000.
You think you can put out on a car with that?
yeah, a little pro box. You can get a
little
nice,
20-year-old pro box.
nice little car.
20-year-old pro box. Only not hear Dean Jackson Miller style are wicked. One look at 20-year-old pro box. That's why I have the thumbnail I have. You see Crash Pro Box? You see that the Crash Pro Box there? The 72,000 can't even pay down on the Crash Pro Box. You don't believe me? I want to hear me say again. The 72,000 where Fayval tell us if it's safe. In a 3 year, if you pay down on a Pro Box, cannot pay down on a Crash Pro Box. The one I have on my thumbnail right now, it can't pay for it. Billy Davis, what up, man? It cannot pay for it, ladies and gentlemen. It cannot pay for it. This lady is telling us to save $13 a month for the next 3 years so we can buy a car. Billy Davis, we have a finance minister here in Jamaica that is telling us to save $13 a month to pay down. In Jamaica, you know, not the United States, you know. In the United States, it's different. You know, you can get cars very accessible with credit and whatever, right? But in Jamaica, paying $13 US, saving that for the month. And after 3 years, take it up and pay it down on a vehicle and take it off the lot. This is what Fayval Williams has said, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to spin this. If they're able to spin it. Because I have to give the JLP credit. They are very creative with their arguments. And I'm not talking about a positive creative. They are creative in the most negative way. Them lie. Yo, I say them lie. This has particular administration. Them lie.
$2,000 can faithfully get you a nice little proba. $72,000 Fayval at the supermarket alone for many ordinary Jamaicans. Not even many, a few Jamaicans. And you're going, Fayval, let me give you a reality check tonight. You see, the additional $2,000 that those people are getting is just to buy a box lunch, Fayval. Fayval, the $2,000 is to buy a box lunch and to make sure that them can go to work for another day if them can reach to work, Fayval. You are totally out of touch.
Totally.
You are totally out of touch. Because no. Jamaica, I want producer, play it again. Every well-thinking Jamaican tonight should be concerned about who is the Minister of Finance.
Yes, on a monthly basis. Let's call it $2,000 a month. If you faithfully put away that $2,000 because it's something that you were not getting before, 3 years, you'll have a...
You know, I called in the mystery lady for Andre's show, and she said she asked a question, and that question is still rocking my mind right now. She was asking if Fayval went overseas for any checkup. People, hey.
Tidy sum that you could put down in a car, like a pro box that you have to drive to go to work, and you don't have to stand up in the sun or think about rain to get a vehicle to drive. So yeah,
$2,000 a month over 3 years, Minister. You think you can put out on a car with that?
Yeah, like a pro box. You
get a 20-year-old pro box.
No, Jamaica. $72,000 is a tidy sum, Fayval. Fayval, your bill last night alone for food service at the place out of Port Royal was $3 million. As a matter of fact, almost $4 million. What are you talking about tidy sum, Fayval? Your food bill for your cocktail last night was almost $4 million, Fayval.
All out! Whoa! We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out.
You know, Jamaica, if you guys were to see how some of these politicians are living, you know, you truly would not make excuses for them. I think there really needs to be a performance-based payment when it comes to the politician them. If them don't perform, they don't get paid. Yes, I really for them to have for the politicians to have that type of leverage where our tax dollars are concerned, that amount of pool of money, I truly believe that they should be they should be paid on a performance basis. Yeah, I'm telling you. Because this is ridiculous. What Fayval Williams is telling us is ridiculous.
Take out the thief them.
You heard what she said? You never had.
Yo, Andre said. Heard what you said? Yo, Jano.
And you're telling me that this woman is in her right mind?
She can't in her right mind, brother. Something wrong with her, bro.
I think if I'm never concerned, I am more concerned now, Jamaica. If I wasn't concerned before, I'm concerned now.
This bad man.
You remember when Justice Seymour Panton said he don't want to drink the water that the Parliamentary.
Yes, I remember. It looked like something in the water in the Parliament. Something is in the water in the Parliament. Mr. Seymour Panton, the former chairman of the Integrity Commission Board, Integrity Commission, it was accurate, and he's a pastor, you know, so I guess the Lord had revealed to him something about the water in Parliament. Guys, don't drink the water, okay? Over there, okay? Yeah, don't drink it.
No, Jamaica. Producer, play back the budget. Play back the budget now. Play back the budget. Because I don't think that. Play back that.
Let's say John earns $2.1 million. Formula should be considered when food and payroll taxes.
What products are you talking about? Do you mean a products? Is this you're talking about, Fayval?
Look for the products.
Is this you're talking about to buy one of them mash up products and fix it? No, Fayval. Is this you're talking about?
Yes, on a monthly basis. Let's call it $2,000 a month. If you faithfully put away that $2,000 because it's something that you were not getting before, 3 years, you'll have a tidy sum that you could put down on a car, like a Pro Box that you have to drive to go to work, and you don't have to stand up in the sun or think about rain to get a vehicle to drive. So yeah,
$2,000 a month over 3 years, Minister. You think you can put out on a car with that?
Yeah, like a Pro Box.
Hi, Linda.
Pro Box.
Why? Jamaica, $72,000 to faithfully put on Pro Box. Anybody out there have Pro Box that sell for $72,000? Jamaica, you must be concerned because she never even retract the statement.
Yeah.
She was convinced in her argument, you know.
Yeah, she doubled down.
Hey, Fayval, is this it? Producer, play back what she said. Because is this the Pro Box she talking about? Give me a commercial break and then...
So Andre went in. Make we listen to oh, sorry. You wanna can't hear me? You wanna can't hear me? You can't hear me, people? You can't hear me? You can't hear me, people? I don't know what going on a while ago, but it look like the Wi-Fi dropped. But anyway, let me go to this real quick. This a Ralston, man.
On March 12,
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister, my sincerest apologies. Jamaica's first female finance minister, Fayval Williams, opened the budget debate yesterday. Here to recap and review the main points.
Down to mainstream media disrespect Portia Simpson Miller. Man just making mistakes, say the first female prime minister. The disrespect.
Economic financial analyst and talk show host Ralston Hyman. Morning, Ralston.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, we're having a conversation before the show opened, the segment opened a while ago, where I asked you, essentially, what were you looking for from the minister's presentation? What are you hoping to get? What should Jamaicans be expecting from that opening budget presentation?
Well, first, we want to congratulate the minister on becoming the first female finance minister. But what we had expected to hear, if I was presenting the budget at this particular point in time, within the current global context, I'd start off by saying, Madam Speaker, Jamaica is a small open economy, $25 billion operating within the context of a larger international economy, $105 trillion, dominated by the Republic of the United States of America with $29.5 trillion.
Something just ain't right. Something alright. Your blood clot, your stomach.
Because it's something that you were not getting before. 3 years, you'll have a tiny sum that you could put down on a car, a little pro box that you have to drive to go to work, and you don't have to stand up in the sun or think about rain to get a vehicle to drive. So yeah.
You know, so anytime I want to fall asleep, I go listen to Fayval Williams' budget speech. That man go do.
So that given the latest trade
I literally want to sleep with me listen to our budget debate.
was more than our total exports.
But what Rasta man say still is that, and it's a good point, because Prime Minister said them a pivot. Because them basically the argument they were saying when Nigel was leaving is that basically them have the economy in a good state and them stable the economy because of fiscal prudence and fiscal discipline. So if them a pivot the economy to growth, this budget speech should have been a speech around what is your growth potential and what is your growth plan. What is it? What are you planning? What is the strategy you're putting forward to show the people that, listen, the 5 in 4 years, the 5% growth in 4 years that you promised some years ago, you, Leachin and Nigel Clark, if I'm not mistaken. You know, we're supposed to be seeing it, a plan in the budget to make that happen. And I think that is reasonable. I don't think that is something that is far-fetched.
Was more than our total exports for the first 10 months. What we need to do is to develop a growth strategy. I'm going to outline to you today, Madam Speaker, a growth strategy. The Prime Minister says that we are pivoting from stability to growth, and I want to take this opportunity to outline a growth strategy. All the first things we're going to do, Madam Speaker, is to look at agriculture, because we now saw that given the latest trade numbers, the country's food and consumer goods import bill was more than our total exports for the first 10 months of last year.
Oh, let me tell you
Our
what
food
going
and
on. No,
consumer
me
goods
know what
import
happened.
bill was
My daddy
$1.69
throat
trillion,
and floss with
while
my
our
girl
total
there.
exports were only $1.5 billion.
I don't know
So
if I have a
therefore
drum.
means that we're going to outline a strategy to deal with the agricultural
okay.
sector. So we're going to improve the rural road network. We're going to
Yeah, that's what I done
be
so
carrying out a
fast.
policy of accelerated land reform and land titling.
3.5.
We're going to be investing more in storage.
I small
And
buckle
we're
and a
also
3.5 man.
going to be
The big
investing
buckle
more
of
in
five
technology.
something.
I'm going to jump in. Yeah. First thing, I'm happy that
The
every time
Imperial
you said,
quarter
Madam
5.
Speaker, you were looking at God,
5
so I
floss.
appreciate that. The budget, 949.5 billion of tax revenues. Explain that.
Okay. Well, the minister said the budget is 1.26 trillion. It's going to be financed 949 billion in tax revenues, 4.9 billion in capital revenues, 139.8 billion in non-tax revenues, 5.6 billion in grants. Yeah, that's on the income side.
5.9 in grants, but
yeah. On the expenditure side, 917 billion in non-debt expenditure, 855 billion in recurrent expenditure. Recurrent expenditure, 354.9 billion in programs.
People, I'm asking you something. You hear how Ralston Hyman reel out the numbers them effortlessly from in memory. You realize how much of a mathematician and a genius this man is? If you watch him, you know him, know him talk about it. He's very confident. He knows what he's talking about. Mighty God. Listen, I would have to write this down on a piece of paper. I'm not cap. Me I want good maths money, but I would have to write this down on a piece of paper.
95.8 billion in salaries, public sector compensation. Now, the 949 billion in tax revenues implies additional revenues of 50 billion thereabouts. That's about 5%. Inflation at 5% will take care of that, so that's not a problem. Yeah, so the revenue side of the budget, not a problem. What we're looking at now is how you use the revenues. So the minister spoke about the capital budget. One of the things that we're expected to hear from the minister is what, Madam Speaker, we're going to also focus on dealing with the procurement problem. Because what we have been seeing consistently, even under the former finance minister, Nigel Clark, they always underspend the capital budget and tell us that the problem is related to the procurement process. Now, if you don't spend your capital budget, you're not going to be able to accelerate economic growth.
Fair enough.
The capital budget is a budget that we use for our roads, our schools, and all of those things.
We don't have a whole lot of time. Overall, what did you think of the budget? If you had to give the minister out of 10 as the highest, where? 4?
Yeah, man. Because we need to, Jamaica is right now in a recession. The rest of the global economy is slowing down because of the policies.
Why 4? Why 4?
Because it never covered the areas that it should cover. We need a growth strategy now.
So because you're listening for that growth strategy, which is an important area of focus, that for you has essentially given her a failing presentation grade?
Yeah, man, because she never addressed the issues that are important.
No new taxes for 2025, 2026? No new taxes? What do you think about?
Well, no new taxes. Yeah, one of the things that...
When I got to speed past the fact say Ralston Hyman gave Fayval Williams a 4 out of 10, you know. People that is below average. That's an epic failure. What do you call that? D? Is that a D? 40%. Is that a D? Because C is 16. A D minus that, you know? Yeah. Yo, plus this. 150 for this? Okay. People. Fayval Williams. Wow. Wow. And the Prime Minister was clapping and cheering around and beating the decks. Wow.
One of the things that the people of Jamaica have become used to, because of the low level of economic intelligence, is that they only see taxes when the minister goes to Parliament and say, we are going to have a new tax category. But the fact of the matter is that they are paying more taxes. The government is going to collect over 50 billion more in taxes.
How?
By, as the minister told you last year, It was.
Yeah, no, but from what specifically? Because that's what people at the TV and the screens are asking.
That's what I told you.
Right.
Inflation. Yeah, so when the cost of the goods and services go, 15% GCT on $115 is more than 15% on $100.
Right.
So the indirect taxes, that is how you collect taxes. So you don't have to name a new tax category.
But doesn't that inflation still affect how the government expenditure overall too? Because Jamaican inflation doesn't exist in a vacuum.
No, that's the point I'm making.
Right.
That's the point I'm making. So what we want, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about growth. We're talking about real GDP. A lot of
Hassan, salute, man.
know the difference between real GDP and nominal GDP. Nominal GDP is GDP before the subtraction of what we call the GDP deflator. That's producer and consumer inflation. Right? So right now, real GDP is projected at 3.48 trillion. Nominal GDP. Real GDP is only $799 billion. So we need to grow real GDP if we are going to improve the quality of life of our people.
And that is what you were hoping the minister would have.
So we need a growth strategy. Yeah, the way the condition that the world is in now. We also need to know how is it that we're going to export more, because that's a big problem.
You hear that?
Give me the areas that you.
Why isn't the government taking the recommendations of Ralston Hyman? This man has been accurate about the budget and the state of the economy all along. He has been warning them about this recession that they don't want to admit that we're in. He has been warning them, you know. So they might pay the debt too fast, you know. And it don't make any sense, you know. I don't know. I'm the type of person, if somebody is competent in the field at which they have proven, working and proven to be so, listen, man, it's about the benefit of the people at the end of the day, right? Yeah, work with them. If they want to work with them. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to work with them. You listen to them and implement the ideas. You don't have to like them. And give them credit too. Because if I want to say to me, say, yo, you know, say, this and this and this, I'm going to say, all right, you know, say that person said to me, say this and this and this. I give them the credit and make people in the world know, say, them say that. I'm not going to take it for myself and go on like say, me say it and my idea. No, you're not supposed to do that. Give people them credit. Give them credit. Same thing with Damian Crawford idea. Them take Damian Crawford idea with the electricity and them not give him no credit. Them take Mark Golden idea with the threshold and then not give him no credit. Right? Like, come on, man. That's lame, bro. That's lame.
I thought she hit the nail right on the head, if there were any areas like that in your opinion.
Well, in terms of some of the revenue measures, in terms of the reduction of the tax on dividend to external parties.
You were impressed with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, those things, yeah. But we want to see big ticket items. The growth forecast in the budget is 1% per annum for the next 4 years. So you're moving from recession to stagnation.
Damn.
That's not going to help the Jamaican people.
So you were not impressed, though?
No, we need a growth strategy at this time. We have been doing fiscal consolidation, that's another point. We have been doing fiscal consolidation for 13 years, not for 10 years since the JLP was in power. This thing started under Peter Phillips and Portia Simpson-Miller. We need to remind the country about that. The whole process of fiscal prudence and fiscal consolidation. When we re-engage, I am a foundation member of the Economic Program Oversight Committee that was formed under Peter Phillips in May of 2013. This is when that process started. So the people of Jamaica has been undergoing this fiscal consolidation process for years. So we need to grow now. That's what we're talking about. And the international economy on which we depend is slowing down. The remittance flows that we depend on to pay for the exports, they're slowing down. 2.85 billion for the first 10 months of last year. Under Trump, they're going to slow even more.
Yeah. The last budget that Dr. Clark did, were you impressed with that one?
Well, what is the result of the last budget? We had 3 consecutive, so everybody knows.
Well, give us a yes or no first. Were you impressed or no? Okay,
We're not impressed.
No, I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, man, tell me why now.
We had 3 consecutive quarters of decline in the economy before Hurricane Beryl. So when we got the 3.5% decline during the 3rd quarter of last year, everybody was, I've been telling the people about that level of deceleration for months and that we're going to end up in a recession. Because
he did tell the people that. He actually did. It's well documented. Ralston Hyman has been warning about the recession from last year, January, even the year before that, December 2023. Him been a warn about the recession. He been warning about it. He's not lying. It's on YouTube. It's all over YouTube. It's all over YouTube. He's been talking about it on his program as well on the radio. This man is a freaking genius, man. Telling you, man, he's a genius.
If you're not spending your capital budget, you have a problem.
We have to go, but some people say we're not a recession. There are other things that you have to put with.
Let me explain that.
Quickly.
But there's a difference between a slowdown and a recession.
No, we're in a recession. The National Bureau of Economic Research, which was created by Wesley Carey Mitchell in 1920, the greatest classical economist, tells us that a recession has 2 consecutive quarters decline in real GDP, and also we talk about sectoral diffusion. How many sectors? During the last 2 quarters, the third quarter and the fourth quarter, 11 of Jamaica's 12 economic sectors declined. The industrial sector declined by 12%. Agriculture is down by 25%. We check the numbers. So we know that we're in a recession. And the fact that you are denying a recession, that is why you have not been able to develop the policies that are necessary to take us out of it.
But the folks who are denying the recession are intelligent people. It's not that me just get up and say,
No.
But we have to go.
No, but they are injecting politics in the debate. We're talking about economics. Yeah. Germany is the 3rd largest economy in the world. Germany has been in a recession for 3 years. Last week, the new German chancellor developed a 500 billion stimulus plan to invest in Germany's infrastructure to take Germany out of the recession.
We certainly have to talk a lot more about this, but we have to go. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Economic and financial analyst and talk show. Sorry about that.
I am absolutely happy that he was able to get off that last part, because the capping about the recession, you can't fix a problem if you don't recognize you have a problem, you know. What this government is doing is trying to tell people, oh, you know, it's a technical recession. It's not really a recession, you know. We just have to watch this and we're in a recession. Now, what are you going to do to fix it? That should be the approach. Because it's a what do you call it, election year, they don't want to say anything that could be used against them where the public is concerned. So they want to hide the fact that we're in a recession. Pitiful. They don't care about us, the people. They don't care about winning. Them no business. They don't care about the truth at all. Man, listen. Please stop the capping. Yeah, seriously, stop the capping.
And go. And them just say, boy, I don't have the money to send the picnic to school. That is the reality of too many of our children. So our commitment is to ensure that every needy student, those on par, but those who are not, get 1 meal per day. I now want to move to how we plan to help those senior citizens, those who are 65 and over. Mr. Speaker, we're going to introduce for our elders or senior citizens who are retired a flat rate for their National Water Commission water bills. A flat rate. So every Jamaican 65 or over will benefit from a capped flat rate that will help to ease the financial burden. They have, and it is not going to be one rate across the board, because people have different concepts. Right? And so you work out, and we will work out what that rate is.
Members, please allow the speaker to continue.
Mr. Speaker.
Julian are drinking water. Julian are
Mr. Speaker,
easy.
I want to turn my attention to the state of the Jamaica Urban Transit Company because it exemplifies a much bigger issue,
Shorty biggest no.
which is the failure of the government to invest in essential services that directly impacts people's lives and their cost of living. Public transportation is a necessity for thousands of Jamaicans. It determines whether children get to school on time, whether workers arrive at their jobs without stress, whether families have a few extra dollars in their pocket at the end of the day. Yet JUTC has been systematically run down by this administration. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, JUTC carried 62 million passengers for the year. At the end of 2024, according to their data in the public bodies book, JUTC will carry $18.8 million, 18.8 million passengers. That is less than 30% of the capacity. Less than 30.
Hold on there. Fayval really talk about pro box in the parliament? Let me screen record this. No, sir. The mockery. She really does say pro box a while ago?
Yeah, Josh, tell her about read for me.
Did you know, sir? Yeah. If you give me a week, I mean,
30% of the capacity.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. I didn't even realize I was mute. Lord have mercy. What's up, Godson?
But you know what is worse? The wage bill still running at the same rate as if you're at 100%. The spare parts bill running at the same. The fuel bill is running at the same as it has been. Mismanagement and corruption. So,
when you hear Marky G, mismanagement and corruption.
because it has to clean up. Because we're just running at 30% of the capacity. But we're spending more money on JUPC. So what? So what mean people have to pay more to read school? So what mean people have to take 3 hours for each one of us? And so what mean you are impacting negatively productivity and quality of life? Mismanagement and corruption.
Marky G now, hold back today.
You know, Mr. Speaker, when I was here on Tuesday, and I was listening to the Minister of Finance's presentation, and every sector has to lobby for what they want. But when I heard the relief that was being offered to the new car dealers, I asked myself, if I thought about the top 5 priorities that are affecting the country, whether it be crime, whether it be education, healthcare, improving public transportation, I wondered which one that would solve. I wondered which one that would solve. Mr. Speaker, I want to go to public sector and public sector negotiations. Mr. Speaker, I sympathize with every public sector group that has to endure the government's approach to wage negotiations. The way the administration has handled the review has led to protest, frustration, and public outcry. There was problem with teachers over graduate pay and retirement age.
May I tell you about the disrespect Amazing Grace? May I tell you?
Junior doctors, consultants who have
Terrible, man.
industrial action in recent time in defense of the items they have agreed on. We have seen agitation from other groups, UTEC staff, as well as firefighters and correctional officers. At the heart of the problem,
So, Julian, when I talk about,
Mr. Speaker, is the government's
he was
tendency
talking about
to
the
sign an
buses, the
agreement with
JUTC
public
buses
sector
not being
workers,
maintained.
only
And
to
apparently,
ignore or to
allegedly,
change the
somebody
terms
over
of
the
the agreement.
JLP says, so what?
And then when
Somebody
that is
have to
done,
show them,
and then
so
there is
what?
good
They are
reasons why
such
it
an
is done.
uncaring
But
government.
if it is done, you need to come back to the table in an open and transparent manner and indicate to the persons why it is done. And unfortunately, what we are seeing is that groups will sit down in negotiations with the government, and then the circular, which formalizes what they have discussed and agreed, is a totally different matter. And there is a grave level of distrust between the union movement and the government around this issue.
Yeah, man, I can't tell about pressure.
An issue which is important and coming up relates to the increments,
serious pressure.
the increments that have been agreed between the government and the trade unions. And so I want to ask the Minister of Finance whether the budget provides for the payment of those increments, plus the wage claims that the government has received from the union movement. It is important to know so that unions who are expecting that those payments are going to be made at the beginning of the new financial year will know whether that will be done. When we were last in government, Mr. Speaker, we established the Public Sector Monitoring Committee, a critical platform that brought unions to the table, ensuring consultation, transparency, and trust in decision making. What has become of that committee?
Sure, that a bad man.
Committing, Mr. Speaker, to restoring that committee because we believe in dialogue, we believe in respect, and we believe in fairness. And as Michael Manley so powerfully put it, we have to restore the voice at the workplace. Our public sector workers are far too important to be sidelined.
True.
To be left outside or to be forced to disrupt services just to have their concerns heard. We can do better for them, and we will do better for them, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know, the problem is many of those talking have to talk because they might not be here much longer.
Bop, 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 bop. Julian, shut off for them. Julian, shut off for them.
A high interest rate environment in the financial environment. And we understand why. The central bank had to increase interest rates to deal with the issue of inflation. And we had a period where inflation was high and the central bank had to increase their rates. However, the Bank of Jamaica's key policy rate, which influences the interest rates charged by commercial banks, has been on a downward trend. Since August 2024, the central bank has lowered this rate by a total of 100 basis points, bringing it down to 6%. However, despite this clear signal from the central bank, we have seen virtually no movement from the commercial banks in reducing lending rates. This highlights a very serious problem with the monetary transmission mechanism.
Listen.
Mr. Speaker, we have heard calls from ministers on that side, from private sector groups, from us, that there needs to be a reduction in the bank's interest rates. But Mr. Speaker, we have a three-pronged strategy.
This is a key issue, you know.
And at the core of this approach is to improve competition in the banking sector. Okay?
This is a key issue. Very important.
The problem, Mr. Speaker, is that we have a highly concentrated banking sector. Right? And the reason that interest rates are not moving down is because the sector lacks real effective competition. And I know the central bank is working on measures to deal with
Look on tough time face.
They're going to implement what they call the eKYC system, which will allow people to move and establish.
Hey, Sassy. Hi. How you doing, love?
That is not enough, and that's not going to be sufficient.
I'm listening to the opposition budget presentation.
Ministries, agencies, and departments of the government hold about 10% of the total deposits in the entire banking sector. And our commitment, Mr. Speaker, is to introduce competition for those deposits. Because the majority
Yes,
of the
giving thanks. Thank you. I hope all is well with you.
two big banks, close to 70 or 80%. And there have been historic reasons for that. But we are going to introduce competition for those deposits, an auction system, so that the smaller banks can get some of those deposits. What will that do? And let me say, you have different types of deposits. You have the current demand deposits, where they need that to deal with current expenses. But you have longer term deposits. And we're going to auction those so that all the banks, the 11 deposit-taking institutions, can compete for the government deposits. That is our commitment, number 6. I'll tell you what this
Alisha, dumbfounded.
will increase competition because smaller banks will have access to more low-cost funds, allowing them to expand their lending activities and compete more aggressively. I'll tell you, I spoke to the head of one 2 weeks ago, And he said if he had access to more of those deposits, he could bring down his lending rates. He could bring down his mortgage rates. And so you wonder why I'm talking about this. If we're going to drive economic growth, we have to deal with one of the biggest hindrances, which is the cost of capital and access to capital. And so the reality is, government as the largest player in the market has some leverage. So use that leverage to improve competition in the market so that we can bring rates down. And if you have more competition for deposits, the banks will have a greater incentive to pass on lower rates to borrowers, ensuring that the cuts from the central bank actually benefit the people. Now, Mr. Speaker, we're not going to stop here. We have to go further. When the asset tax was introduced, it was introduced when we were on that side, during the 2012 to 2016 period. And it was introduced because as part of the IMF stipulations, we had to run a high primary surplus of 7.5%. And so the asset tax was introduced. Even though it was intended to be a short-term measure to plug the gap, the asset tax has remained. And it has been a sore point for the banks. Mr. Speaker, I'm making a commitment here, backed by the opposition leader who will soon be on that side. We will phase out the asset tax over a 5-year period.
You hear that?
5-year period.
Man, I'm take with the asset tax now on a 5-year period.
I hear the laughing. They have kept it for 9 years and done nothing. They have kept it for 9 years and done nothing. And you have kept it for 9 years and done nothing. We're going to phase it out because we have to assess the impact on the government's revenues. But it is a commitment that we're going to do because we have to be responsible. It's easy to get up and say you're going to do everything one time. But you're going to have to determine where you're going to get the revenues to back it up. And so our commitment is to phase it out over a period of time so you don't have the damage to your fiscal accounts by doing so.
Responsible.
And that is our next commitment number 7. 9 years to reverse. But Mr. Speaker, we're going to go further. By phasing out the asset tax, we are going to sit down with the banks and we're going to have a discussion about some of those fees. What we have seen over time with bank fees is that what banks earn from fees versus their loan income, bank fees keep growing. In some cases, up to 40-50% of total income. So we're going to have to sit down and say, if we're going to phase out the asset tax, which you've been calling for, you're going to have to look at those fees that you charge customers.
All right, guys. You won't be able to see me, but you'll be able to hear the budget. I have to lay down the phone.
So we are saying we will phase out the asset tax, but we are going to have a discussion about bringing those fees down so that we can deal with the cost to customers of those services. And the final commitment, and I want the member from South St. Catherine to hear me. He brought a private member's motion to the Parliament on banking fees. It was never debated, and I'm committing to him that private member's motion, when you bring it back and we are on that side, we will debate that private member's motion on banking fees. Mr. Speaker.
Oh, that's all like Isaac in our Parliament, so what go on?
Mr. Speaker, I now want to go to what I call our 4E strategy for building a stronger economy and for pushing export-led growth. And Mr. Speaker, the reality is that while our debt to GDP ratio continues to move in the right direction, that by itself is not going to be enough to generate the economic growth and to lift the living standards that all Jamaicans need.
Tell them,
The
Julian.
4 E's are energy, efficiency, emerging economies, and education. And Mr. Speaker, we have to change how we view growth. To advance, Jamaica must pursue a future where value-added exports play a larger role. We'll never become wealthy by selling just to the 3 million people. And so we have to look beyond our shores to create export-led growth.
You're not here.
Our focus must shift towards producing and exporting goods and services that generate higher value. Jamaica can lead the region in producing innovative products in fields like agro-processing, manufacturing, and the digital creative services. We must actively work towards being known for excellence in products that are made in Jamaica and that can command premium prices. Achieving this vision, though, requires a more strategic role for the state in coordinating and facilitating the productive processes through agile policy making and strategic investments in growth-inducing sectors.
No man, Anna Isaac.
Government has a critical role to play.
Anna
in
Isaac.
accelerating
Isaac
this
can't do it.
transformation.
Isaac not in
The
Parliament.
state must not simply be a
You're not part of
bystander,
Parliament yet.
but an active partner
I forget
investing
elected
strategically
in
in
the
these
next general
high-value
election.
industries.
A joke man I make, I know somebody sound like him.
Mr. Speaker, the cost of energy is a major component in the productive process of all countries. Exorbitant energy
can put
costs
the Red Bull right
make
on
it
this like so.
exceptionally difficult for firms to be
And
truly
leaning like
competitive
so.
on the global market. And
only
for too
thing.
long, Jamaica's high energy costs have been a major barrier to economic growth,
True.
making it difficult for manufacturers or agro-processors and other emerging industries to compete internationally.
True.
The cost of electricity is more than 40 cents per kilowatt
Way
hour,
too high.
which is among the highest in the world.
Yep.
US 40 cents per kilowatt.
Yep.
When you left it, member for East Kingston and Port Royal, it was about 26 cents.
They have machine over there so you play roulette.
We cannot accept that
What
the
is it?
status quo, where high electricity
And a
costs
roulette
create
machine then?
businesses, stifle innovation, and make Jamaican products and services uncompetitive in the global market. We need lower energy costs to allow businesses to expand, to create higher paying jobs, and to produce goods that can stand on the world stage. I'm going to outline how we plan to democratize electricity in Jamaica so it is more affordable. Now, before I start, I have to make a point.
Please.
You know, there are times when we examine the impact of corruption,
Hey.
we tend to look at it based on monies that have been missed. We look on the cronyism, we look on the nepotism. But there are few times that we really examine the impact of corruption on institutions, on ministries, agencies, and departments, and their ability to fulfill their mandates. I know a lot about energy because I served with a member from East Kingston and Port Royal in the Ministry of Science, Energy, and Mining, Science, Technology, Energy, and Mining from 2012 to 2016. And, Mr. Speaker, what we have seen, it has taken this government 8 years to issue a request for proposal to add renewable energy to the grid. And it's not an accident. I'll tell you why. You have had 4 ministers of energy, right, over that period. You closed down PCJ, NESA, REP. We have lost critical human resource in those ministries, agencies, and departments, which has directly impacted our ability to bring energy costs down. It's not an accident. The last build-out of renewable energy took place in 2016 based on the RFPs that were done in 2013 under our watch. And it has taken 8 years to issue these RFPs. We are a country that depends on heavy fuel oil. And the only way We can bring
Isaac.
our energy costs
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
It's a diversify.
Amazing Grace, you have a
But
point.
because of the
You have a
activities
point.
at that ministry, it has stalled our move to renewable energies and to driving down energy costs. So I'm going to say what we plan to do. And the opposition.
Hold on, my people.
And the opposition leader and the member from East Kingston and Port Royal will speak more about it. But we're going to expand affordable, accessible, and implement more renewable energy. What do I mean by that? And I'm going to give specific examples. The JPS bill is coming up for renewal. One aspect of that relates to net billing. License for renewal. One aspect relates to net billing. Net billing is where you generate your own electricity and you sell back to the grid. The advantage of net billing is that it reduces the cost because you don't have to buy the batteries to store, which are a big part of the cost. But the reality is that the net billing rate as it is right now does not provide an incentive for persons to invest in renewable energy. So the first thing we're going to do, we have to adjust that rate so it is more attractive, so that people who want to invest in solar and wind or whatever they want to do can do so and sell to the grid. Because right now, there is no incentive to do it under the current Electricity Act. We're going to look at power wheeling, which was under contemplation in our time. And what power wheeling
Make sure someone knows it's clean, yo. You know what I mean?
And to provide electricity to the home. So it works.
Yo, shout out to y'all be rocking with me, man. Salute to everybody rocking with me right now. Anybody that watch the replay, salute to y'all.
So that we can solve because we have an energy poverty issue in Jamaica. We have an energy poverty issue. So
There's some of your ice, yeah.
Commitment number 11 is to implement a transparent pricing mechanism. So what happens right now, we know that we have multiple generators, not just JPS. You have Wigton Wind Farm, private power companies. They sell to JPS at a particular price. Generally much lower than what JPS ends up selling to us. But there's no transparent mechanism in terms of the price that you ultimately get. Because they could be buying at 18 cents per kilowatt hour. And when it comes into their
The
system,
beauty in the ear is a ear. No rub up nothing in there.
some technical and some non-technical.
The thing that we rub, you see the thing we rub up in there?
So you know
Listen to
that
me,
if it
man.
comes in at 18, you would know
Like
that
what?
you're getting it at 25 as an example.
Who make
That
it?
is how we're going to do it.
Who make it? Oh, teach you all good. What else?
We're going to allow larger consumers, particularly those in special economic zones, to be able to generate and supply within those zones. And the reason we have to do it, we cannot attract the kinds of businesses.
See, dying off the hair and the bleaching.
Those industries.
Kill your blur, not skull here.
With the cost of energy as it is right now.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to support vulnerable customers, and we'll have special considerations for those who are the elderly and those who have special needs. And we're going to amend the laws. We're going to amend the laws to allow full liberalization.
Yeah, man, amazing Grace, me know, man. Big up.
This plan will be implemented on a phased basis as we move to ensure consumers start to see more affordable bills in the short to medium term. And I tell you, the member from East Kingston and Port Royal is a man who, when you play cricket, you know play only a single or two. Try to lick the ball out of the ground. And when you look at where we were in our telecom sector in the late 90s, we were actually in a worse position. No, well, let me reverse it. We are in a better position as a country and a government to get the kind of electricity sector we want now than we were 20 years ago in the telecom sector. It's a unique opportunity that Jamaica cannot afford to miss. Cannot afford to miss. Because you can have no growth. You can do nothing if you are operating at 40 cents per kilowatt.
I mean, they still open everything out. Everything on bartender down there, yeah.
Mr. Speaker,
no about kitchen part though.
The opposition leader will spend some more time on it Tuesday. And the member from East Kingston and Port Royal will also be talking about it. Mr. Speaker, on Tuesday,
Market Chief vocally, man. Hey, people, Market Chief vocal effort.
Outline the electricity theft program. And, Mr. Speaker, I take no issue. Yeah, man, it ball, but what do you with it? You learn to accept it with all age, right? I don't
take
put
a less time
to keep it growing though, like you. Mr. Speaker, in 2014,
I have a pre-prep.
we commenced a pilot with
Yeah, man.
Joseph and
Good
the
temperature where we are
I know a lot
standard
about the
temperature.
program because at the time the then Prime
No.
Minister asked me to lead that program. That initiative was designed to deal with the issue of electricity theft. And we identified 7 communities. There was one in my constituency, one in the leader of the opposition's constituency, the then leader of the opposition, now Prime Minister, one in the member from West Kingston constituency. It never happened.
But hold on the people, you know, say, me never did know, say, the PMP suggest this idea about the light theft task force. Yeah, because here we're going on now. It is my opinion that JLP is overcharging the people them will pay for light for the people them will thief the light. I don't know if they have come out and said it out loud that that's what they're doing, but I don't think about JPS is charging the people them, in my opinion, that is paying for light for the people who are not paying for light. So basically it's like some people up on welfare and a year tax basically I pay for take care of them. I see something with the people who are thief light. Our light bill get pad up because them are thief light. That's what me think of happen, you know, because trust me, some of them light bill, brother, it don't make no sense, bro. You go to Bob say, you say, alright. You know how long me iron one piece of clothes? Estimate. You know how long me iron one piece of clothes? You know how long, listen to me not use light for purpose. Me even use light for purpose. As much as me can turn off the light, me turn off the light. You know me use maintain on a constant basis most of the time is the fan and the computer. The fan and the computer, ladies and gentlemen, are them two things that me use. And you know, so when you wash your washing machine, outside of that, we don't have time for the electricity, brother. A real thing. So you see this light theft task force, me with it 100%. How about you?
It never happened. But that's what I'm going to share with you. Your memory might be failing, but I'm going to share with you.
Right it.
I'm going to share with you.
The man fire shot off of Desmond Mackenzie said Desmond memory might be failing, but him go remind him of something. Because this one I get told for you, know. People know say low key on a prophetic level. Desmond Mackenzie. You basically have to watch the big heads them. I say all heads them, but they're in a government long time on any side, especially JLP. You have to keep an eye upon them, yeah? Yeah, man. Because I got on time, you know. When you say Amazing Grace, I'm all for my light bill. It gone up by $4,000. Hold on, what do you mean it gone up by $4,000? You mean say, add on your light bill, $4,000 gone by your light bill? What do you mean by that, Amazing Grace? Please clarify that.
Yeah, you're a friend, but I'm going to share with you what you said. Because I have an article which quote where you said...
Hey, Julian, me a pray, you know. What do you mean say you and Desmond Mackenzie are friend? What do you mean by that? Careful, you know.
Was it a great program? I'm going to share that story. I'm going to share that story. But, Mr. Speaker, I just want to explain what we did at the time and what the program was. So the program involved a number of components. It involved the wiring of houses because, as you know, it is probably the single greatest deterrent to people coming on a great formula. So even when people want to, and at that time, Minister, it was costing about 50,000 Jamaican dollars at the time to do a simple, to wire, put in a meter and have
So your bill gone at 14,000 and it did at 10,000, Amazing Grace. Jesus Christ, what a banger. That's a 40% increase, you know. Bombat.
Asked by the GI to have that.
Almost 50% increase.
I heard your numbers.
That does sound good.
You may have to look at those numbers again. But I'm hearing those figures are close to 100 and 120.
So let's say they are money maker.
Right? So we wired the houses. We put in place meters, prepaid meters. There was not just a technical part, but there had to be a social part because the reality is you had to bring people with you. People who had not been paying electricity bills to convince them that this is a better thing to do. For many reasons. I mean, many of us as MPs have fires in our constituency, and many of them arise from the fact that you have electrical issues where you have those rooms.
Shorty, they don't make no cheer for you. I lie.
Having to run up and down.
They don't make no cheer for you.
So we started that. We piloted it.
Nah, man, they have some cheer, we have all one thing, and make it so you can put your
I
foot.
have no issue with what you're
Yes, man.
proposing to do.
Because even me tall, if me a slump on that, I want to put my foot like so. You don't want your foot to hang off a chair. Yeah.
Intervention is important.
Ah, that me just not go talk about a while ago. And swell up your foot. You lock off the circulation when your foot are hang down like that.
The issue of efficiency. The next pillar of our strategy is efficiency in business expansion, commerce, and government. Mr. Speaker, Jamaica is to achieve export-led growth. We must ensure that our businesses, in particular our micro, small, and medium enterprises, are operating efficiently. MSMEs are the backbone of the economy, accounting for over 60% of employment and generating $44 billion in revenues. Despite their importance, these businesses continue to struggle due to structural barriers that limit their ability to grow, innovate, and compete. This is why efficiency is a key pillar of our 4E strategy. To increase exports, our business must be agile, productive, and able to compete with international players. But we can't expect efficiency from them while they are burdened with limited access to financing, excessive red tape,
True.
Infrastructure, and high energy costs.
I have to pay them good money.
We must understand, Mr. Speaker, that efficiency is not just about doing things faster. It's about creating an economic environment where businesses can grow without unnecessary obstacles.
True.
A PNP government will focus on removing these roadblocks and creating an environment where MSMEs can...
I hope I don't hear anything else from the Labour at them that the PNP don't have any plan. You see how long the man them wait for the budget debate? You see how plan I roll out? Good.
The first thing on the issue of... access to finance. Only 17% of MSMEs can access credit from banks, while 53% rely on personal savings to fund their operation. This lack of financing severely limits their ability to expand, to invest in new technology, or hire skilled employees. What will we do? The PNP will reform the loan structure at the DBJ to make DBJ loans more attractive to MSMEs. Now, the issue here is not the amount of money. In fact, there are many times here where with outstanding finance that we see funds that are unspent by the DBJ. So the issue is not that providing more money is the answer. It is how do you make it easier for them to access it. So the current fee structure of the DBJ acts as a major disincentive, preventing small businesses from securing...
We're not far tonight again, you know.
Additionally, the DBJ facility currently excludes micro enterprises, those that earn $15 million or less in annual revenues, further limiting access to much needed financing. So, Mr. Speaker, we have listened to the MSME sector, and we have heard what they have said. They have indicated that if they are taking out a $10 million loan, when the fees that the bank charges are total, they are sometimes at $500,000, $600,000 or more. Monies that they have to find up front to access that $10 million loan.
You can imagine you live at some place, you're afraid to go a bed card when the rain fall.
Now what are we going to do?
Water
we are
kitchen
going to
in a bed.
backload those fees into the loan.
That's some place
so
like
that they
them,
won't have to find the money up front and that they can extend their payment term. Doesn't happen right now. We are also going to expand access to micro enterprises, businesses that have revenues of $15 million. Another issue for the MSME sector is the cumbersome regulations and the high compliance costs, which discourage MSMEs from formalizing and scaling their businesses. The process of registering licenses complying with tax obligations remains complex and costly for these entrepreneurs, forcing them to operate in the informal sector. Our commitment, Mr. Speaker, is that we are going to waive corporate income tax for 3 years for new MSMEs. We are saying to these MSMEs,
Dangerous, look real quick, look at them, the foundation is shaking, you know, it's a timber.
We are saying to the MSMEs, go out here and build your business. Sell your services, sell your products. We want you to come in the formal sector. We don't want you to stay outside. And the
But
reason
now,
we don't
like,
want you to
still,
stay
you know, if you're
outside is
skilled, you know,
if
if you know what you
don't
do,
have
you know,
access to funding.
you have to set the
Because
right
you can't go
foundation
in
for
this
them
if
there
you
also,
want
you know, brother.
resources you can get from
Yeah,
yourself or your
man, you have to
family.
know
So
what
we
you do,
want you
man.
to come formally in the system. But we are
No,
saying,
no, no,
run,
that not
go
gonna
in
work.
business,
That not
build
gonna
business,
work.
and you don't have to worry how fast you come back.
That not gonna work. That not gonna work, yeah.
The MSME is from the backbone of our society, and they need the support so that they can grow. Additionally, we're saying when we launch this initiative that businesses that started before its implementation and are still within the 1 to 3 year period of operation will also be eligible for this exemption. This policy will encourage MSMEs to enter the formal system so that they can access government support. And
People, I make my phone charge up. You see me, I go on listen to that debate, yeah.
the next thing we're going to do for MSMEs,
And
we have spoken about
we have, you know, we have some things to highlight.
government is the largest procurer in the society.
If I even late tonight, but we have some things to highlight because Juliet Robinson, outside of him being friends with Desmond McKenzie,
Very few of them participate in that process.
him have
We're going to
this.
do a carve-out.
Him have this and him care about the people them.
And we're going to say in a competitive way.
Him care about the people them. You can't hear it in his speech. I'm very concerned about how the economy is right now. And I know that there's more. So I don't want the phone get hot. Because it's hot right now. The phone very hot right now, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to turn off the phone with the phone charge. So I'm going to end the live. See? In the next 2 or 3 hours, man. Around them time there, alright? Yeah, man. I go back live or so. 3, 4 hours. Maybe at 8 o'clock tonight I go live. 7:30, 9 o'clock. But I go back live tonight again because this serious. Julian Robinson. Definitely. I mean, Fayval Williams is not competition. I'm sorry. This was a cakewalk. However, Julian is drumming on key issues, growth. The growth, how to grow the economy. You understand? So, me I go really listening. So big up everybody who pass through, big up everybody who type and big up everybody who hit the like button. See? Big up on yourself.